The deepest cuts are healed by faith. Now I believe there comes a time when everything just falls in line. We live and learn from our mistakes. The deepest cuts are healed by faith. Now I believe. All fired up. All fired up. All fired up. All fired up, fired up, fired up. Now I believe there comes a time when everything just falls in line. We live and learn from our mistakes. The deepest cuts are healed by faith. We're on? Hi.
And we're on.
We're on. Sorry, we were doing Facebook and sharing.
You guys
and all
are
that
busy,
kind-
busy bees.
So let me just. Oh, okay, there we are. We're sorry. So welcome to ReneMarie's Stroke of Luck. Happy Sunday morning. Happy Sunday morning, Jim.
Good morning, good morning.
Good morning, Jim. Good morning. Can you hear
Bright-eyed
Judy?
and bushy-tailed.
Move her mic for closer because I
think-
want to make
yeah.
sure.
Hi, Jim.
There you go.
So we're here at the ReneMarie's Stroke of Luck TV show hosted by Village Connection Network, which is, we're so happy to be a part of the team. How long have we been on the team for now? It's been 2 months, right? It'll be.
I think so.
Started
And look
in
what we've
April.
accomplished in that much time. Holy
Yes,
cow.
yes.
Even a telephone.
Yes, you should. Yeah, could you believe that we hooked up with them and we got a telethon and our first
Right off the bat.
right off the bat. So we got a very wonderful show today. Speaking of the telethon and speaking of stroke survivors, Bob Mandell, who that's how
Bob Mandell.
Mandell, sorry, Bob Mandell from Florida. I don't know how he found us. How did he find us initially? I forget. We'll have to ask him when we talk to him.
That's right.
But the amazing thing is that he came all the way from Florida to be on our show with Debbie, his wife.
Yes.
Wow.
So, yeah, because he loved what we were doing and loved our passion.
I think that one of us hooked up with him when he had a story on Facebook.
It must have been you.
Or Facebook.
No.
Maybe it was me.
It was you. It was
And
you.
I was very interested in his stroke story.
Yes.
And I interviewed him about it. And
Yes. His story is called From Stroke Victim to Stroke Victor. That's the name of his book, which is an incredible book, and we'll talk to him a little bit more about it because he actually has formats and ways to use his experiences to better someone's health after a stroke, which is awesome. We talk about stroke prevention here on the show because, of course, 80% of strokes can be prevented, and that is, that's the forefront of the news. That's one of our avenues.
Yes.
But really, we also want to show hope and bring some support to those that have had strokes and aphasia.
he's had a remarkable recovery.
Yes, and you'll be able to see him. We're actually doing it in a different format today. Our Skyping, Jim at Village Connection Radio has this wonderful technique to Skype him in halfway on the screen. So we're going to try something new here in my world. And we have to wear the headset and stuff to hear him. But we're evolving at the studio, and I'm really happy to do that because you'll have a better view of Bob while he's talking. So that's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. I really wanted to, and I'm sure Judy will tune in or put her feelings into this. A few things. We're looking for partners in our mission. We've had the foundation for 4 years.
We're so
4 years went pretty fast.
4 years went pretty fast. It's been amazing. We had 4 annual telethons already,
Yes.
and that was really the reason that I started the foundation, because I wanted to do a telethon. And actually, you can't do a telethon and not have an organization to send the money to.
Right.
Right? So you can't just say, can you give us $150,000? Where am I going to
Doesn't
put
work
it?
like that.
And the TV show was...
Well, the TV show came as a part of, because of my friend Bobby Baby Walker, and I don't know if Kathy's on, but the TV show came on as a tool that we used for the telethon, which is incredible. It was incredible.
Yes.
But we really want to invite all those industries and all those people and all those donations that you're not giving to somebody right now. Like, we all should really be a part of something bigger in our lives, and we're doing such incredible work. We've lived up to all 3 of our mission statements. Our mission statements are stroke and aphasia awareness. That's number 1. Number 2 is to do an annual telethon, which we've done 4 telethons, and then our 3rd mission statement is really
insurance.
When insurance to help those that insurance, or help those selected that insurance has run out. They're, to help them to
get
recover.
Rehabilitation.
Yes. Because in our world, and as you can see, if you go to the ReneMarie's Stroke of Luck internet, ReneMarie Stroke of Luck TV.com, you'll see the history of all those that have suffered from strokes and experienced a stroke. I don't like to say suffered so much. I think
they experienced
a stroke. And they'll tell you that the insurance is really a major problem.
And getting therapy.
After
and you have to have the
stroke.
therapy to recover.
Yes, and it's ongoing. It's ongoing. As everybody could see, my arm is a little tense. And to me, I don't look at it like it's an issue. I mean, because I just keep going on and on. But in all honesty, I could use some physical therapy on it. But so because it happened so long ago, I'd have to go through this big, huge process. So our mission, our cause for the next 5 years, starting with this 5th year of our foundation, is really to have stroke survivors, and really to have all of you reach out and partner with us and donate to us, and your donations and your sponsorship will play a huge impact in saving the lives and the quality of life
Definitely the quality of life
of those that have suffered from a stroke and aphasia. So we want to partner with you, so please reach out to Judy. Judy, give them your email address.
STYF2050@AOL.com.
What does that mean, Judy? Or can I ask?
Well, I was in a pageant, New York Senior America pageant, and I jazz danced to the music from Chicago.
Nice.
The song was Roxy, and I wore a red flapper dress and the whole 20s outfit, and I always enjoyed watching jazz dancing, and I always wanted to do it, and this gave me a wonderful opportunity to do it. And so the STY stands for style or stylish, and the F for flapper, who loves the 20s and 50s music. And I believe that I had another lifetime in the 20s.
Wow. Wow. That's pretty interesting. I never asked her that. I've known you for 3 or 4 years approximately, and I never asked you that, but it's pretty interesting. So please, once again, and in me, I'm very hard on myself and very slow, or that's the wrong word. I'm very, I don't like to ask for money. I don't like to ask people to give to us. But, over the last 4 years, we have laid this platform, and we have shown you what we could do and what we're doing with the finances and the donations that and the partnership that you will be helping us with and you'll be donating to. And it's so awesome that Bob from Florida, he saw what we were doing and he loved us so much that he came up from Florida to be a part of our cause. So we have a huge network of people now. We have Demont down in Michigan who's going to be on next week. Isn't it Demont, the Father's Day?
I believe
Father's Day he's going to be on.
Stacy Kaplan.
Okay, but Demont's on Father's Day. And
okay.
So we have people from around the world and around the country. I had a gentleman on my show, and his family in Israel was watching. Oh, his family from Israel was watching, and so my point is that I believe now I can say with all honesty and all integrity and all like this passion that your donation will help us. And you could look at our trail and look at all we've done for the past 4 years to...
I've seen how much you've done in just the past 2 months, and it's unreal. I can't even imagine multiplying that times a year, 2 years,
I know.
Years.
4 years.
I know.
4 years.
I know. Thank you, Jim. But we do it because we have a passion. We have a passion.
We feel very deeply about it, and we want people who have suffered a stroke, who have experienced the stroke, to be able to get the rehab. The rehab shouldn't have anything to do with the money involved in getting rehab.
Yeah, that's one of our passions.
And it's a vital point.
And we're going to have Michael Fitzpatrick, Senator.
Yes, we're going to have him in August.
What's his title? He's a senator.
He's an assemblyman.
Assemblyman. Michael Fitzpatrick.
I believe it's September 9th.
Okay, good. So, we just wanted to share that with you, and really bring it to you and think about it. In my world, you pray on it, and if it feels right, then we're the cause that you need to, or you should help and donate and partner with us.
Yes.
And if you're not, we still love you and we still respect you, but just donate to something or somebody. Be a part of something bigger in your life. It really does.
Makes a huge difference.
It really does make a huge difference, and it makes you feel good at the end of the day. So, what time is it? Because Bob is supposed to come on at 9:15. I'm going to do a quick. We were having some technical difficulties on my end. That I sent Jim the wrong file for my song, but I always like to sing. So singing is a way that it brings such light to people, and this is the first song that I ever sang publicly, and I did it when I was young, and it's in my Unconditional Love tour.
You're still young.
Thank you. And I was I was small, and I did it at Mary Help of Christians on the stage. I'll never forget it. No, it wasn't the first song. It was actually the second. The first song I ever sang was Ben. Do you remember Ben?
Yes, I love that song.
The two of us need look no more.
No, it's beautiful.
We both found what we were looking for. It's a very sad song.
I love that song.
It's a very sad song. I'll do
it's
it
from
next
the movie.
Week. It is.
Yeah,
it
I remember seeing that when I was younger.
It is. So, but this is a song called Bows and Flows, and it talks about life and how, and this is in my world, and this is why it's in my Unconditional Love Tour show, which is a whole different baby, which I'm looking for a keyboard and looking for a whole orchestra to have behind me so that I could start going on tour, to do this. But it's called Bows and Flows, and it goes like this. Bows and flows of angel hair, and ice cream castles in the air, and feathered canyons everywhere. I've looked at clouds that way, but now they only block the sun. They rain and snow on everyone. So many things I could have done, but clouds got in my way. I've looked at clouds from both sides now, from up and down, and still somehow it's clouds, illusions I recall. I really don't know clouds at all. Moons and Junes and Ferris wheels, the dizzy dancing way you feel, and every fairy tale comes real. I've looked at love that way. But now it's just another show. You leave 'em laughing when you go. And if you care, don't let them show. Don't give yourself away. I've looked at clouds from both sides now, from give and take, and still somehow it's love's illusions I recall. I really don't know love at all. Woo! Great
Very
song.
good.
Great song. Great song.
Love that song.
So in my life, nothing stops me from singing, whether it's technology, So we're going to take a short break because I did a commercial that we're starting to do commercials, and this will also show the sponsors that we really are very is it okay, Jim? It's not working?
Hold on 1 second. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's okay. It's technical.
Yeah. There's all this techno stuff. You know?
But while we're talking about it, Judy, give a little plug to what we're doing in our cause and our foundation and our Stroke of Luck TV show and our telethons, and how this year between the 4th annual telethon and the 5th annual telethon is really like a stepping stone for us to really, we believe in ourselves so much that we're at that place now. We're there now. So, and please join us if you want to become part of the telethon.
Well, I got involved in this stroke because of my dad's stroke, and I feel that it's very important that people know the signs of stroke, which we've worked on, how to prevent, if we can, stroke, and we're working together to bring this information to the public, to the world, so that they don't have to have the experiences that we did, and with the insurance that they would donate so that we would have funds to open a center that we'd like to open.
Yeah, that's our ultimate vision, is to really create a center where those that have suffered strokes or aphasia could just come without the difficulties of thinking about insurances.
We'd have doctors and nurses.
Yeah, and nurse practitioners, right, and therapists and the whole thing. So we're really on a mission to better your life, and to make a difference in those that suffer from strokes and aphasia, and to save the world, so you don't suffer from strokes and aphasia. But Jim has told me that we're ready to rock and roll. Let me know how you think the commercial is, and I look forward to, and you will evolve and we'll do better. When we come back, we're going to have Bob Mandell, our Florida connection, who is stroke victor, how to go from stroke victim to stroke victor. Be right back.
Really observed by bystanders. And if people don't recognize those kinds of signs and symptoms and call emergency medical services immediately, you might miss that opportunity to save that person's brain and their life.
Right. Could you give us the signs again?
I was very happy to be part of the telethon. I learned a lot that day, the doctors that you had here. And thank you for your wisdom, because, again, I was thrown into a situation that I didn't know how to handle, didn't know the right questions, but I knew something was wrong from the beginning. Didn't know the terminology of aphasia. My mom, back in 2001, we were having a conversation on the phone, and she wasn't making sense. Words, she was just saying words that didn't apply to the conversation. And I just said, something's not right. You need to go to a doctor. And I don't think she understood what I was saying to her, because I guess she thought she was making perfect sense to me. Right. What we did learn was she was experiencing TIA strokes.
And again, really observed by bystanders. And if people don't recognize those kinds of signs and symptoms and call emergency medical services immediately, you might miss that opportunity to save that person's brain and their life.
Right. Could you give us the signs again?
So be fast, which is your change in balance, where you start walking and you feel that your balance is off. And these are sudden changes. Any sudden change in your eyesight, just like you had the blurry double vision, you might have not be able to see on one side or not see at all. And F is for your facial. If you're looking at somebody and you ask them to smile and one side is weaker than the other. And A is your arms, weakness in one side of your arms or your legs. And S is changes in your speech. If you have any different changes in your speech, whether nonsensical speech or absence of speech. And T is time to get that person directly to the hospital so that they can be evaluated. And I'm sure that those things, even if they go away, they need to be evaluated immediately.
Definitely.
Yes. And please tell the 911 operator that you're calling because there could possibly be a stroke.
Yes.
So that they go into stroke mode. It's really important.
That's story.
Yeah. And that's why I began this show with saying life is a gift.
Yes.
And each day is a gift.
Yes.
And we have to really value and really take our time to enjoy it and to love each other and to be kind to one another because it's a challenge. Life is a challenge, you know. Hi, we're back with ReneMarie's Stroke of Luck. We're really happy how did you like the commercial? Anyway, we thought that would
Came out great.
Yeah?
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
We're evolving. So.
We got a place. We need more commercials made, Renee.
Yeah. I love to make commercials, and I love to do technical stuff as well as be the host. So, are we ready to Skype in our friend Bob, who is really a dynamic person, and Bob Mandell. Dedication is to helping others. Let me just read this so I don't get it wrong. Bob Mandell's dedication to helping others stricken by a stroke has led to a new career path as an author, stroke survivor coach, public speaker, and founder of the Stroke Recovery Foundation, a 501c3. And like I said before, when I was talking about partnering with us, it's not this is not we're against you, we're better than you. We all need to come together to help this cause.
We can help each other.
Yes. So, Bob is a 501c3, and we love Bob. And let's bring Bob on so that we could get to know him, and I could introduce him. We can introduce him. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Debbie. So we can introduce him.
Morning.
Let's rock and roll. Where's our friend Bob? Oh, he's on? Oh, I don't see him. Oh, this is a few minutes behind. Hi, Bob. How are you?
Hi, Bob.
Good. How you doing? From sunny Naples, Florida.
Naples, Florida. Yes.
That's a beautiful place.
You look good, Bob. How's it going?
It's going great.
How long, Bob? First of all, thank you for all the work you do for stroke survivors.
Thank you for your work.
Thank you.
Stroke is the most underserved, significant disease in the world.
That's funny that you should call it a disease because, I have a nurse friend as well. It is a disease, isn't it?
It's a disease.
Wow.
That's what it is.
Wow.
So because people don't think it's a disease, funding is difficult, but it is a disease.
Yes. How did we initially?
I honestly, when you said that earlier, I couldn't remember how we did that. But I have to imagine that it was either by referral or on the internet.
It was on the internet, but I don't remember. If I take a quick guess, it was probably this one to my right here, who found you and called you.
I think she did.
Yeah.
She's the one who called me. I do think that.
Yes.
We had a long discussion about your stroke and how it happened.
Right. Well.
So let's start from the beginning, Bob. Tell us a little bit about your stroke story.
Well, my stroke story started 22 years ago. I thought I had I knew I had a terrible headache. I went to the doctor thinking I had the flu or something, And he thought I had the flu too. So he sent me home, and I had a stroke. Slight difference. So that day, initially I was aphasic. I was incontinent after the stroke. I lost my ability to speak. I was completely paralyzed on my right side. They sent me to a nursing home after 10 days of hiccuping in a hospital. They sent me to a nursing home thinking that this was going to be it. And I was in Connecticut nursing home in Stamford for about 3.5 months. And I got therapy 4 to 5 hours a day, 6 days a week. Insurance was very different in those days. So, you talked about...
that in Connecticut, you lived in Connecticut, that it was different.
Well, it was different in every place, because there was an indemnity policy. As long as you kept making progress, they kept paying.
Wow, that's pretty awesome.
So then I had outpatient therapy in Danbury at Main Street Rehab, which is a world-class facility. And I had that for in excess of 2 years, 4 to 5 hours a day, 5 days a week. I had occupational therapy, physical therapy. They had a indoor pool therapy in a pool, which is very important.
Yes, it is.
Going on walking. It's the first time I walked after the stroke, unaided, because in the buoyancy of the water, no problem. If you fall, then the water catches you.
Oh, wow.
So no problem. I had speech therapy. I had therapy for the therapy. It just went on and on.
And what did you do in your life to have that kind of insurance? Because,
What did I do in my life?
Yeah.
I married a teacher, Debbie, who had great insurance. They don't get paid much, but she had a good insurance policy.
Yeah, because that matters. It matters.
It matters. You're sure right it is. Because at the end of the day, and I think one of you said, if you have therapy, you get better, assuming you're engaged in your therapy.
Right.
In the absence of therapy, basically you plateau.
Yeah. Well,
Very sad situation that there's so much unfulfilled potential.
Well, you just said something that is one of the things that I am working on my book, and in one of the chapters, it describes like how you get someone who has suffered a stroke or experienced a stroke, I rather say, and how do you get them to the therapy part, because when you suffer a stroke, like you had said, we're fortunate because we recovered. I guess we recovered, and that's why we are passionate about helping those that haven't recovered.
Right.
But how do you get someone to understand that they're the ones that have to do the work? Because you have this brain trauma, and your brain is scattered all over the place, and you just said that you suffer from aphasia. How did you understand, and how do we use that bridge to help people to let them know that they're the ones that need to do the work?
At the end of the day, it's exactly what you said. They have to do the work, but they have to have the potential. They have to have the opportunity to do the work.
Yes.
So they can't just do the work in their house.
Right.
They have to be in a facility with trained people, neurologically trained people. And then it's up to the person to be engaged and to do the work. And the only thing I've really learned is, words are fine. And one of the things I like to do is out in the community, I show people, look, this is the way I was, this is the way I am. And it's because I worked.
Right.
And it's really, I don't know any, I'm not a trained psychologist, but I haven't heard a psychologist come up with anything else.
Well,
you need role models to help people believe that they can actually get better. Because when they're sitting in a wheelchair or they're aphasic, it's tough for them to believe that they can actually make progress.
That's very true.
And sometimes, Bob, they can't even comprehend that they could get better. That's the part that, and I actually...
That's exactly right.
Say it again?
That's exactly right. They can't comprehend they can get better.
Right. So, that you have to take care of that avenue first. And I think, and in my book, I'm talking about tools to actually get them to that place, like the initial part.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that's the most important part, because if you're not engaged, then the therapy is a waste of time, waste of money. Yeah. You have to be engaged. You have to be working at it. You have to believe. And the thing that I learned was one step at a time technique that I developed.
Bob,
one step at a time. Step at a time.
Bob, when did you decide to start a foundation? At what point in your recovery did you start working?
Well, I wrote as you ladies both talked about my book. So when I wrote the book, somebody suggested to me that I write a book. The University of Michigan professor of communication said, you have to write a book how you went from the nursing home bed to Australia. And Debbie and I had just gotten back at that point from Australia and New Zealand for 6 weeks. So I thought that was a great idea. I joined a book writing boot camp, and I joined some writing groups down in Naples. I wrote the book, and I thought I was finished with the book. And then someone said to me, have you interviewed any of the stroke professionals down in this area? And I hadn't. So I made appointments with all of the stroke professionals down here. And interestingly, I'm not a doctor, a clinician, barely passed chemistry. But they were willing to meet with me because I was writing a book.
Right.
So I learned from talking to these people that stroke was a very underserved disease. And so I said, okay, I'm going to try and fix that, which is, I didn't know what I was getting into, how difficult it was. I really did.
It's a lot of work. It's
a daunting task.
Yeah.
And so I started initially a Stroke Research Foundation, and I was taken by the lack of research in stroke. Now, I'm not saying there's no research. There isn't that much. There isn't enough research that's appropriate to the size of the problem in our society. Of the list of 10 top diseases that get funded by NIH, stroke's not on that list, even though it's a number 5 killer and number 1 long-term disabler. But to tell you the truth, I didn't really make any progress because people thought, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a clinician, they thought I was a bank. Well, I wasn't a bank. So people said, why don't you help people? So I changed the name of the foundation to the Stroke Recovery Foundation, focused on helping people.
Right. Well, that's...
So that was about 2 years ago.
But we're the ones, and this is, I know myself very well. I am not a book smart person, but I'm very able to understand things when I meet people and use the resources that I have to accomplish what we need to accomplish. We're the ones that have suffered a stroke. We're the ones that know what it feels like to have experienced a stroke. So you can't get anybody better than us to be passionate about it. And that's the American Stroke Association honestly believes that's why they always get survivors to be a part of their work and their journey.
Right. Well, I always say we walk the walk.
Yeah.
Bob, can you tell us about your public campaigns?
So my public well, first of all, I've been asked to speak at the World Stroke Congress in Montreal this October.
Wow, that's awesome.
And I have talked and spoken in Canada, Canadian Stroke Congress, and the UK Stroke Forum. And the reason I did all this, or I do it, is because there isn't really a lot of stroke support. There is hardly any stroke support available in America. But in other countries, there is.
Oh, wow.
So I said, let me see what other countries are doing. So I went to these various groups and met with these professionals to kind of fashion some kind of an idea rather than trying to reinvent the wheel. And so we're developing a new website. It's just come out, or it's just coming out, really, I should say.
Your website? I was on your website.
New website.
It's going to be new?
completely new.
Okay.
You have to look at it. It's just kind of in a beta format right now, and that it's still has a few minor things to fix up. Technology, as you talked about.
Right,
but
right.
it's in pretty good shape, and it'll be fine in the next week or so.
Yeah. I want to go back to something that you were talking about, the steps. Talk about the steps that you created. Give us an example of the steps that you created.
Just one step at a time. So if you're sitting in a wheelchair, for example, and the therapist says, get up, and they help you to get up, and they say just walk as much as you can walk down the hallway, for example. Well, I think that's the wrong way to do it. I think that the first day you take one step. That's it, one step.
Yeah.
And that's your objective. You succeed. You're now happy. You're not sad.
Right.
Not
because
depressed.
you accomplished you
accomplished
successfully
your
accomplished
mission
that
for the day or for the session.
Yeah.
And then the next day, perhaps you do the second step. And again, you create meaningful goals that you can accomplish.
Right.
So that you're not depressed and not annoyed or pissed off or whatever. Because being annoyed and pissed off guarantees that you get depressed and you don't believe you can succeed. But if you go one step at a time,
You'll have a more positive
succeed
attitude.
over time. And that's the way, to me, that's the technique I learned.
Well,
And
it's
frankly, I didn't know. I just kind of, I just said, I got to figure out a way to get out of this.
You're speaking from experience, and you are speaking from, something that has worked for you, and
Right.
or maybe
Work
things
for
that
anybody.
or things that didn't work for you, and what things could have worked for you.
Right.
We were talking. It's almost like, and this is another aspect of my book because I was thinking on the way in. It's almost like playing softball. Like repetition. You have to practice.
Right. That's what it is.
And at the beginning of the season, you only throw 50 balls, to one another. But by the end of the season, you're throwing 300 passes to one another.
Right.
Because you
That's
build
right.
strength.
Right. You build strength and you build confidence.
Yes.
More important, you build confidence in yourself to succeed. And that's what you have to do, build confidence in yourself to succeed. Yeah. Then you are in a good mood and you keep working at it.
Bob, who did you have? Because I know Debbie was there for you, but, I was thinking another aspect is that, how do we successfully succeed? We successfully succeed because we have a circle of team around us that will help us to not let us fall. They're around us. Who was around you to help you to succeed?
Well, you see, because I had so much therapy, the therapists became my coaches. They became my information. They gave me information. They became my sources of information. And so, because I saw these gals every day. And so, when you're doing therapy or when you're getting pulled around or your arm's getting stretched out or whatever, you're better to schmooze than just sit there and cry or scream.
Yep.
So the thing is, that's why I'm developing this coaching practice, because that's what helped me, and I know this is what would help other people, because you can't do it alone.
No, you
and
can't.
Frankly, it's a little bit like teaching your own child to drive. That's not necessarily the right thing to do. It's better to send the child to a driving school where somebody who is not emotionally involved is going to help you.
Yeah.
So that's what I learned, is that you need to have an outside, sort of a neutral person who's helpful and wants to help you, but doesn't have an emotional connection particularly.
Yeah, we were talking about that with Michelle on the show the other day, how sometimes, families want to help you too much. They don't give you the opportunity to expand and to grow and to really do things. So, if you need to pick something up, they'll pick it up for you rather than allowing you the time and the effort to put into it. Now, that doesn't mean, and this is what I said on the show, that doesn't mean that you have to allow them to do it, but you have to give them the opportunity to try to start doing it, like you said.
The most important thing Debbie did was not do things for me.
Yeah.
It's not that she didn't want to do it, and it's not that she wouldn't have done it. It's just that let me try to do it.
Yeah.
Let me try to do it, and let me try to succeed. Because if someone keeps doing it for you, you start to believe you can't do anything.
That's true.
That's the same thing with a parent and a child. If you do everything for your child, the child doesn't have any way to learn what to do, learn how to fail, how to pick themselves up and move forward, because you're always blanketing them.
Yeah, yeah. In my world, Dominic Cortellessa, I always remember him saying to me, because he was one of the mentors in my life that really helped me and gave me the tools to be able to utilize which I use to this day. But he would always come, put something in my mind and put something in my brain, say something to me, and then say to me, we'll come back to that tomorrow. And then he would come back into the office, he'd sit down, and we'd talk about it again. And then he'd say to me, no, you don't have to answer right now. No, think about it, and I'll come back tomorrow. Right. And every day he kind of helped me to nurture. I
had somebody like that too in my career.
Right, but he allowed you to think yourself.
Right.
Think it through yourself first.
Right. That's absolutely correct.
With stroke coaching or coaching of anything, doesn't matter.
Yep. Our
physical
friend,
training or anything else.
Yes, I agree. I totally agree. Our friend Demont is on our Facebook, and he said also you must have a strong support system, and we agree. That's what we're talking about, Demont. So we're right on target with you. I do want to. This just came to me, and I want to say it before I forget. Our 5th annual telethon is coming up, Bob, and it's going to be remarkable. It's going to be huge. And whether you hook up with us via personally or you Skype in or but please,
I'll be there.
We want you to be a part of it.
One way or the other.
Because this is really an important stepping stone.
Milestone.
It's a milestone. It's a milestone for all of us because we all need to come together, like you said, and we all need to work on things. I personally would love for everybody to come in person, only because we can have a few days before to talk about things, to work on things, to really formulate and really come up with and really plan out those centers that we need to have for stroke survivors and aphasia survivors. Right. So we would love for you to...
stroke is so, a whole bunch of weak individuals, and relatively, we're each weak on this. We are stronger if we work together.
Absolutely.
Stronger if we work together because we all have capabilities and experiences and we can help each other. But more importantly, we become more of a critical mass together.
Yep, we do. So, Bob, what's going on in the next few weeks for you? What do you have planned?
Well, we have planned, I'm developing a video podcast program called Succeeding in Your Stroke Recovery. And we're doing some video podcasts for it. We have an outline of now 53 or 54 different things to talk about, everything from the causes of the stroke and what that means and what's the prognosis for the future, to lifestyle changes. For example, horseback riding has been found to be very beneficial for stroke patients as well as MS and TBI patients. And there's data on this. Well, I never knew it, but there's a therapeutic riding center down here, and we're working on a podcast, art and music, photography, all kinds of lifestyle things that you can do. I can't play tennis anymore, but I can sure take pictures.
Yeah.
So another thing about avoiding sort of depression or being downhearted is to create a new life. I call it the new me or the new us.
Yeah, plan B.
So that you're happy, you're engaged in the world in a different way, that's all.
Yeah, and you just talked about depression, and, since you brought that up, I think it's really important for us to send our condolences out for all those that, suffer from depression and really have suffered from committed suicide recently.
Well, that's really a terrible thing.
Yes, it's terrible. But you know what, Bob? I can understand the mindset because I was in it. Because back then I was in it. And thank God that I had the support system around me. And the support system, I got a question for you. The support system that could see through me. Because sometimes, like Kate Spade, she was hiding her depression.
A depression.
So, I mean, did anyone see through you? Did anyone?
I have to tell you, it's going to sound a little bit funny, but the truth is, I was so sick, I didn't realize how sick I was.
Yes.
So I honestly never was really depressed, because I just was so sick. I had no clue how sick I was, how difficult it was to get better. And, but Debbie and I were only married 18 months.
Yes, I remember.
The doctor told me, that you're going to be in a wheelchair the rest of your life. I couldn't speak at the time. Debbie and I looked at each other, and there's no way that was going to happen. No way. So it goes back to the mindset.
Yeah.
And, in a way, I was fortunate to be that sick. That I wasn't depressed.
Yeah.
Other people are, and I totally understand it.
Encouragement and
I have found that the one step is really important, because you see, then you create a mindset of happiness. You go to sleep happy, you've achieved your one-step goal, because there has to be a way to do it other than pills.
Well, there was just thinking that another piece that we should all work on together, myself, Demont, and you, and I'm sure Lisa Decker would love to be a part of it, and Judy, of course, because Judy's a part of my foundation. But we should really talk about, like, talking to hospitals, talking to doctors about not giving them that sad expectation, to give them some hope. It doesn't mean that they have to. I know that in hospitals they have to be aware of what they say. I know that because of their liability insurance. They can't tell somebody they're going to get up and run out the door.
No.
But they don't have to give them the negative, the sad.
Happened.
Well, right. And, the biggest thing that goes on in stroke is people are told they've got 4 months to recover, or they've got 6 months to recover, or they have a year. That's the most I have ever heard.
And then your
door slams shut. And that is a total malarkey.
Yes.
And it was so negative.
But that becomes a barrier to success. I had a guy come into my office, successful guy, comes into my office. First thing out of his mouth says, "I have a month left." I said, "What do you mean you have a month left?" He said, "The doctor said I had 6 months to recover, and I'm in my 5th month."
Wow.
Well, what a disaster. I mean, it's like the ticking clock that's getting ready to blow up.
Right. Bob, when I met the neurologist on my dad's stroke case, he was extremely negative. From the first words, he was extremely negative. And as I listened to him, I decided that I couldn't work with him. I didn't want him to be on the case, and I fired him, and I got someone who had a more positive attitude and would work with me and explain things to me.
Well, that's right. But there is a view in the professional world in stroke of many people that because of the plasticity of the brain, that your window of opportunity ends in a certain period of time, and it's totally incorrect.
Yes.
But it's all borne out by people who have not had strokes.
Yeah, that's
the survivors, the motivated survivors, and I underline the word motivated.
Right.
Survivors, they know that this is not true.
Yeah. Yeah.
But people are told this, and if an authority figure tells you that, what do you know? You have never experienced it. The people around you, they don't know. They're not. So you have no, you might believe it. Combined with insurance saying your insurance is going to be cut off in the next couple of weeks.
I know.
You think that's it?
I know.
But that's incorrect.
You know what, Bob? Why don't you, Judy will invite you to be a part of the Michael Fitzsimmons,
Assemblyman Michael Fitzpatrick,
sorry, to be a part of that show. Because we talk about insurances with him.
Mm-hmm. That's fine.
Good.
Give me the dates. Skype works,
Yeah. So listen. We only have a few minutes left, but because we actually went over, but it was actually perfect because our other guest actually couldn't make it to the studio. But let's talk for a few minutes, for about 3 minutes, about aphasia. June is Aphasia Awareness Month, and we've spoken about the fact that you had aphasia and the fact that that it's a lot of it is mental. So let's talk about aphasia a little bit.
I think aphasia is other things than it's mental. It's true, but also there's swallowing issues. There, some of the nerves in the mouth and the throat are impacted by the stroke. But there are some online tools that people can use. Something called constant therapy is something that can be used. It's a program that you can work on your own, so you don't have to sit and waste your therapy dollars in an office.
Right.
And it's graduated. It's doctors. I'm not selling. Don't misunderstand me. It's just something I've encountered.
No, I know. I mean, I'm just trying.
I had a lot of speech therapy, and when I first was in the nursing home, I remember the therapist came to my bed, my room, and I didn't realize I couldn't really speak. I was so sick. But when she gave me she said, say these 3 words, and I love you, or whatever it was, something real simple. I couldn't say them. I said, whoa, that's when I realized how sick I was.
And Bob, I had the book in front of me, The Boy Ran, and I couldn't comprehend it. I couldn't say it. It was so surreal to like be trying. I mean,
right.
It was really a moment
right.
in time.
It's a moment. That's the moment I suddenly realized how sick I was.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought to myself, always. And now aphasia, is more than speech. Aphasia is reading also.
Oh yeah, comprehension.
People don't know that.
Comprehension. I couldn't comprehend.
People don't know that.
Yeah. And I know that, and I don't think they even. I mean, I think they're becoming aware of it now because of us saying it. But I mean, sometimes when I get tired and people look at me, not now, but in the past, I would just look at them and not comprehend what they were saying to me, and I couldn't read. So yeah, I agree with you. It
is. I mean, I didn't know. I learned it when I was writing the book.
Yeah. So, Bob, we only have a few minutes left. Yep. I want to give you this platform to share where they could buy your book, share what you're doing, to give your contact information.
I'm just going to put it up on my little camera here.
Okay.
So it's Stroke Victor, How to Go from Stroke Victim to Stroke Victor. It's on Amazon, and it's on BarnesandNoble.com. And I'm thinking about updating it a little bit. But the book stands it is a how-to book. It is not a memoir. My publisher said I was lucky enough to get a publisher. He said, "Look, Bob, you're not Bill Clinton. You're not. I'm not going to publish it." So it's a how-to book. It's all the steps that I used and other people used. I talk about doing clinical research, becoming a participant in clinical research where you get free medical care, which I did, and integrative and alternative therapies that people can do that really helped me a lot. Gave me my ability to speak publicly back.
Wow.
So, and those stories are in the book. Michelle Obama gave me a testimonial for it.
Wow, that's awesome.
I sent it. I had this crazy idea. I'll send it to the White House because I was very taken by her focus on children's obesity and giving them different food in schools. So I sent it to her, and about a month later, this cardboard envelope comes from the White House. It's a personal note from Michelle Obama.
Wow. Jack Canfield, I took his class, and that's one of the things that he did when he was publishing his first book, Chicken Soup for the Soul. He actually sent 100 books out to major authors and asked them to read it if they had time and to please review it and send an email. So, that's an awesome thing. You shouldn't be afraid to do it. You make a difference.
Right. People think they can't do these things, but, one thing about the Internet is that it gives you a way to reach out. Now, I know we're sending it in the mail. It's not the Internet, but it's just our whole idea that everybody can communicate. You don't have to be at a certain level to communicate with people at that level.
Bob, I don't mean to cut you off, but
No, I understand.
we have to close out now because Pamela's show's on next.
Yep.
What's her the
Hey,
Justice
it's
Hour?
great to spread the warmth from Naples.
Yes, thank you. So we want to thank Bob, and Bob, thank you so much for being a part of you.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
You have so much information to share and so much, and we look forward to helping you any way we can, throughout the year, and really to put you on our website, our telethon
Yep, that's
website.
good. We're going to talk about that offline, but let me just say to people that it's Bob M at strokerf.org if you want to reach me. Bob M at strokerf.org is a way to reach me.
Yes. Thank you, Bob. Have a wonderful
And best
day.
regards to Deborah.
Yes. Say hi to
Okay.
Deb.
Regards to you guys. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Okay. So, what a very right, isn't it?
Unreal.
Isn't he very just wise and really passionate about what he's doing and bringing awareness to everybody? And we hope that this show will do that. Will just bring a little bit of awareness, because we know that nowadays people don't have a lot of time to learn a lot and to watch a lot. Everybody, the world is going so fast and so crazy right now, and because of social media, because of, just it's 15 minutes is in segments. Oh, that's okay. So that's a good intro. But we just want to thank you for being a part of this show, and thank Bob Mandell for joining us today via Skype from Naples, Florida.
And everybody have a great week.
Yes, and we look forward to the telethon and high demands and everybody in our world, and we're going to blow our kisses. Let's go. Bye, everyone. We'll see you later.